Good afternoon. Don Huffmeister here again, wishing to tell you a little bit more about the elementary technique book that I wrote for band. The one that leads us into, if you can believe it, the intermediate technique book for band. So far we've talked about the playable fingering chart at the beginning of this book. We've talked about all of the basic sounds that are introduced in pretty much the order that they are in any other basic text. And we take those basic sounds and turn them around and teach the children also the enharmonics for all of those sounds. And then because we know they know all of the sounds, we can lay out a very simple chart which allows you to play all of the major, minor, seventh, and diminished chords with an elementary band. Now that sounds like a fun thing to do. And just this last video, we talked about establishing tonality within the band. And the first tonality that's most practical is the E flat tonality. And then we carried that to the other four tonalities that are practical in an elementary band. In other words, A flat, B flat, F, and G. Well, those are the four anyway. So today what we'd like to do is talk about the basic technique and warm-up for an elementary band. I don't know that there has to be a lot of difference between warming up and building technique. I think the two things go together and it makes a very good use of time. So what I'd like to do is show you the exercises from the B-flat concert trumpet part, and you'll see the way that I've laid them out. The exercises are very simple. It's just C, D, C, D, C, and then C, B, C, B, C, B, and so on. I mean, very easy. Anybody can play that. It's very, very short. Then in the next exercise, we take the range up to the E, and then we start the exercise, number 4, on E and go down to the C. It's one of my beliefs that it's a very good thing to not only have exercises that start on the tonic and go up and work from there, but also to start on the higher tones in the scale and go down, so that the students learn how to start on any note in any tonality and it feels comfortable to them. And that's what I've done in these exercises on this first page. You can see the range doesn't really get very great in any particular exercise, and by the time you get to the last exercise in the page, you're going down to a low G, and the highest note in the page is a G, so the whole range here is well within the playable range for any beginner. And what we do is we do the same thing really in connection with any other key. So in E flat concert, it would look like this: F, G, F, G, F, and then the reverse. Then we go up to the A, and then we start on the A and go down, and so on. And so all of the exercises are exactly the same, so that if they've learned them in one tonality, they'll pretty much hear them in another. It's true that on this one, in the clarinet part, the students would have to be along far enough in their basic text to go over the break and play the C. But you'll know that as you're working with your students, whether or not they're ready for that, and whether or not the brass instructors, in particular the trumpet and the French horn, can reach the higher note, the C. We also, in B flat, or A flat concert, you can see follows the same kind of pattern through all of the exercises and is very playable for them. So I won't take the time to hold up the G or F concert page because you can see that they're all alike. What I'd like to say is these patterns can be tongued and slurred, and if you wish to increase their ability to check on endurance, well, you just begin to string the exercises together. So have them play the first 4 as one exercise, or the first 6, and you'll begin to see that they'll be able to build their endurance on the same exercises that they already know. Another thing that would be good to know is you could sing these exercises. They're very singable. You could use solfeggi on them. You could use a neutral syllable on them. You could hum them. You can buzz them in the brasses. You could free buzz them if you wanted to. You could have the brasses buzz them and the woodwinds actually play them so that the kids aren't self-conscious and so on. Okay, I think that gives you a pretty good idea of what goes on in the actual basic technique and warm-up part of the book. Now, I pretty much covered the text, but on the next video I'll give you some insights of the many ways you can play this material. It's very simple, but you can make it complex if you want, and you can challenge the kids all of the time. Thanks again, Don Hofmeister.